a single topic. It is also important topic that they ask questions in both papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Some reflection of questions. So they have asked one's performance management system, and they have asked 360-degree appraisal. I guess 2 times they ask 360-degree appraisal. This once again they will ask that. And those methods that we have limitations. So this is how they ask. First, we have to understand it, what performance appraisal is, the methods, plus that's key. Why it is important. Yes. So it will have importance. We'll talk in that why it is important, etc. After, when we have talked recruitment, then training, then induction. So recruitment happens, then training, then induction, then after some time, this is how performance appraisal will start. Yes. So when they work, or they have been posted, they have been inducted, thereafter there will be their appraisal, evaluation of performance. If you have experience of your some jobs in corporate sector, you may have understanding about performance appraisal. This, and then it becomes basis for promotion. It becomes basis for promotion. This. So then promotion, posting, etc., which we say also this is what we can say. Either you can say human resource development, this, and this can be considered career development. Yes. So we do not teach separately, although we'll teach one day. Let's call human resource development. So performance appraisal is part and parcel of your career advancement as well as human resource development. This. So any organization should evaluate performance. Basically, performance appraisal is nothing but evaluation of performance of personnel. Yes. So performance appraisal is nothing but it is evaluation of performance against a set of performance standards. No, like your copy evaluation is a sort of performance appraisal. This so when copy is evaluated, so it has standards. No, standards that which are unknown standards, isn't it? So the standards are related to, let's say, you get different types of remarks. No, what are popular remarks?
Basic understanding, sound understanding, insightful response, question demand not met. Question demand not met. Question demand not met. Lack of understanding and knowledge. Deviated from full set demand. Deviated from full set demand.
lack of understanding and knowledge. This, so that is what, let's say, that you get. So basically they try to match with a set standard, you know that. So you do not know these things. For each question paper, means test paper, there is a separate video for evaluators. Yes. For each test, a separate video is made for evaluators, not for you. And in each question, it is told that if they write like this, that, so what marks you should give, how much marks you should give, how much you should not give. This, so we give separate video to them. In that, it is called, it is performance standard set. लाइक कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस होते हैं आपके फाउंडेशन में, ऐसा तो होगा नहीं, बट बहुत ही रेयर होगा, बट कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चन होते हैं जो किसी को पता नहीं है, किसी को नहीं आएगा वो क्वेश्चन, तो बताना होता है इवैल्यूएटर्स को कि ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर कोई नहीं लिखेगा। इसलिए इसको क्या करना है, इसका एवरेज मार्किंग 3, इजंट इट। मान लो इवैल्यूएटर को पता नहीं है ये चीज, तो क्या करेगा, पता ही है क्या होगा। Anyhow, so there should be performance standard to evaluate. If you want to evaluate anyone, so you should have performance standards. This, and if we have objective, this performance standard should be objective. This, and comprehensive. This is what we have to say. If performance standards are not objective, so how, so what is objective? What are objective standards? So some candidates, they write more than needed. Some candidates, they write less than needed. Hardly you get candidate who write balanced. No. Some candidates are good in giving examples. Some candidates write theoretical answer. Some candidates write applied answer. Some candidates have good handwriting, bad content. Some candidates have good content, bad handwriting. Anyhow, this you can say. So, this way how will balance it? Isn't it? That is how there are so many, let's say, aspects. So even if a person has good knowledge, but it may not come out as, let's say, it may not reflect in performance. Yes, because there are several factors. Yes. There is a candidate who writes very good, but he is not able to complete paper. There is a candidate who writes average, but he is able to complete paper. Average candidate will get better marks than good candidate. Yes. This is how we can say. Same thing in organization, you can see this. In organization, already we have taught theories. Theories, now it is a kind of application in the context of those theories. So performance of individuals should be evaluated. Why we want to evaluate performance? So one thing is very clear, that you want to promote that person. Promotion and posting, this is how can say. We want to promote and post, let's say that. So promotion and posting you can consider, or career advancement you can say that. Performance appraisal is needed so that there is promotion, posting, increment, reward, incentives. This is how we can say one aspect. Now, the question is, it has other such factors also. Performance appraisal works as a tool to exercise control on personnel. Yes, it is a tool of control. It is a tool of supervision. Right? It is a tool to ensure that the behavior of personnel in the organization conforms to the goals and objectives of organization. Unity of direction. Performance appraisal can ensure unity of direction. This you can consider. So it has multi-purposes you can consider, let's say. It is not only for employees, it is related to promotion incentive. But for organization, it is also related to control, supervision, this, and also ensuring that there is unity of direction. Yes. So this way, at the same time, motivating individuals, at the same time, bringing right person at right position. Recruitment can be both direct and indirect. We have talked only direct recruitment. We have not talked about indirect recruitment. This promotion is indirect recruitment. Once there is recruitment, thereafter you have the challenge how to keep people at right position. How there can be right person at right position after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Who should hold which position? When? Until what time? This. So that is what performance appraisal is done, so that we can decide that who should hold which position till what time. That is right person at right position. So performance appraisal can decide whether we are able to bring right person at right position in terms of the skill set needed by the position and the skill held by that person. Yes. So that is how performance appraisal. So performance appraisal is also about promoting greater performance oriented culture. It is the performance appraisal which will decide whether an organization has performance culture. This performance culture. If performance appraisal is not objective, then you know what will happen. Those who do not deserve would be promoted, and those who deserve would be ignored. This may happen. So that is what we have talked in somewhere in behavioral approach, etc. You will find this. So contribution, satisfaction, equilibrium model, opportunity cost, and blah blah things. Equity theory, you can see this. So performance appraisal, let's say all belong to, let's say if there are 4 persons belonging to the same batch and they are, let's say that eligible for DGP post, but you will appoint one. How will appoint one? Is it because of, let's say, performance standard? This, how you will sort out a person? Let's, the day you appoint one, the 3 would resign. This you can consider. Let's take cricket team, simple. Let's get the person who is made captain. Isn't it? The person who is made captain, so other person or other persons in the team, then they feel let down. Isn't it? Humiliated also. So performance appraisal challenge is that how to have a fair system of performance appraisal, an objective system of performance appraisal, so that if we appraise anyone's performance, so there is objectivity, fairness, and acceptance. Other people accept that yes, Mr. X is a bit more meritorious than Mr. Y. Rather, people, let's say, having the view that Mr. Y was more meritorious than Mr. X, so then that organization will not have merit-based culture. Yes, and that is part and parcel of your civil services. No, In civil services, often you find that less meritorious people are promoted and meritorious people are ignored, sidelined. This you can say this. And in corporate sector, you know that they promote more meritorious people. And then they say those who are less meritorious, they will be discouraged. Hence, in corporate sector, those who are meritorious people, they have better self-esteem. Because merit is promoted. But in civil services, those who are meritorious, they may not necessarily have better self-esteem. Rather, those who are less meritorious, they will be happy people. This culture. This is how you can say. That is what Chris Argyris told. 4 factors will happen. There will be 4 courses of action. No, याद है? Chapter 4, Chris Argyris. Isn't it? तो वो क्या था चारों? Becomes indifferent, quit organization, defense mechanism. चलो पास हो गए. याद है थोड़ा थोड़ा, isn't it? Good. So this is how it is, the 4 factors. Right. So performance appraisal, that is how it will happen, isn't it? So quit करने का तो option है नहीं. So once you become IAS, so you know that कि डावरी ओरी ले लिया है, क्विट कैसे करेगा? So क्विट करने का ऑप्शन है नहीं. डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म, इंडिफरेंस, दिस इज हाउ. ऊपर जाने का तो रास्ता है नहीं, राइट? मतलब प्रमोशन होना, राइट? So that is how, right? So largely it will happen, there can be a negative culture. That is how the challenge, let's say. That's why youngsters, that they are more, let's say, inclined to join corporate sector. This you should know that. Those who are intelligent people, creative people, so they will not wait for public sector. That's why public sector fails to attract nowadays the most talented pool. This, especially PSUs. That's it. PSUs, you can say that. Civil services still they are able to attract because of IAS. So this you can say. But PSUs, you know that PSUs you may not be also preferring, especially engineers, right, to join PSUs, isn't it? You may prefer only for, that's as long as you want to prepare for civil services. This, so NTPC join कर लो, Delhi posting मिल जाएगा, isn't it? This, उसके बाद सिविल सर्विस का प्रिपरेशन भी होता रहेगा. बस आपको अगर आइडिया नहीं है तो हम आइडिया दे रहे हैं. So anyhow, the question is that this called they fail to attract. In civil services, this is how they attract, and that is how a challenge. So you know that performance appraisal can become a contingent factor. It is a contingent factor for retention, contingent factor for equity culture, peace of mind, harmony, this a good work culture, and it is very challenging. It is very challenging in organization. This how to identify merit and how to, let's say, bring greater objectivity, fairness, transparency in performance appraisal system. This, because what is meritorious for you may not be meritorious for me. Many a time we know that in family itself there will be difference in view about you, isn't it? Father may have a different view, mother may have a Different view, isn't it? Yes. So you are the same person. So when father and mother, let's say that those who have, let's say, brought up you for so many years, they may not have the same view about you. So what about performance appraisal? That is how it is challenging. But it is a contingent factor. What we are trying to say in the essence is that it is basis to attract talented people in the organization. It is basis to keep organization means it is basis to maintain a healthy work culture in the organization, and at the same time it is basis to promote performance culture in organization. This, and there are 2-3 aspects of performance appraisal which we are struggling. One is called its objectivity. This greater objectivity, transparency in this performance appraisal. Should we evaluate skill or we should evaluate behavior as well? This, the quantifiable indicators and unquantifiable, tangible or intangible. Many a time a person is quite loyal, he may not be as efficient. But there can be a person who is highly efficient but he is not loyal. Right? What we should do? So there are several factors you can consider, several factors in organization which we have to take into consideration. And there is always, you can say that challenge, or there is always this kind of debate that how to improve performance appraisal. Although we have got lots of technological help, lots of research studies, different methods are there to evaluate performance, still we are struggling to make performance appraisal not only objective but acceptable by most of the personnel in organization. Because even if it is objective but it is not acceptable by the most of the personnel in organization, it will create tension and dissonance in organization. Then work culture will be affected. This, however, still we may not achieve absolute acceptance of any performance appraisal. This, that is what we can see. This is what we have to talk. So let's write on this. Performance appraisal. Performance appraisal plays a contingent role. Plays a contingent role in organization. Contingent role in organization in terms of promotion of performance culture, promotion of performance culture, equity, harmony, and retention in organization. Retention in organization. It is a tool of career advancement. It is a tool of career advancement. Which objectivity has remained debatable. The concerns for objectivity. Objectivity has given rise to several methods of performance appraisal being categorized as traditional and modern. Change paragraph. Performance appraisal is another important personal process. Is another important personal process which promotes right person at right position. Right person at right position. It has following objectives. First, supervision and control. First, supervision and control. Next, promotion of performance culture. Promotion of performance culture. Self-esteem and motivation. Self-esteem and motivation. Next, promotion and posting. Promotion and posting. Next, career advancement. Career advancement. Career advancement. Performance and performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is nothing but evaluation of performance of personnel against a set of performance standards. Against a set of performance standards. Performance standards. Hence, it demands first identification of performance standards. Identification of performance standards. Next, gathering information and data related to performance standard. Performance standard. Next, development of methods of performance standard. Development of methods based on performance standards. Based on performance standards. Next, evaluation of performance. Evaluation of performance. Feedback on the basis of evaluation. On the basis of evaluation. Following methods have been developed. Following methods have been developed for performance evaluation. So traditional methods, they're still in use. It's not that they are not applied. So first is, there are several such methods. It is not about first or second, but it depends which one you write first. So forced graphic rating scale. Forced means ki already they have divided percentage, let's say, criteria. Like this. So they may decide like this. They can be considered as fair, good, this. So already, let's say this percentage is decided. Only 20% would be excellent, not 21%. Only 20% personnel would be rated as excellent. Forced, let's say. This is called forced. Forced means you have to, let's say, make people, let's say, fit into those different standards. This only 20% will be fair, not more than that. 20% people you have to rate as fair, 60% people can be rated as good, and let's say next can be rated as excellent. Or they can further divide this. There can be further division: below average, average, fair, good, better, best. It depends how many categories you have. That accordingly they will further divide the percentage. That is how forced graphic rating scale method. Detail we don't have to know, right? Essay method. Essay method is that descriptive writing. Essay type of writing. Descriptive writing about the personnel, their performance, their conduct, etc. So you write in details, right, in literature form, descriptive, and the way you write descriptive answers. So that way, let's say description is given about personnel, their performance. This is called essay method. Critical incident method. Critical incident, you know that two-factor theory also used critical incident method. Critical incident, that time we told that some behavioral traits are identified which are considered important for, let's say, either performance or quality of service. That is called critical incident. So what are those behavioral traits, or what are those behavioral traits or factors which are important for either quality of product or quality of service? And on that, let's say that key parameters, accordingly, let's say performance of employees would be rated. Let's key that time also we gave example. Suppose you have to evaluate people working at reception. The people working at reception, so what is critical incident for them? The first thing is that how they respond, how they talk, how politely they talk. This you can say, their polite behavior. Then grievance redemption. If someone has any grievance, let's say customer, let's say service. So grievance redemption. So if someone has complained anything, so how many days they take to solve that complaint? Customer satisfaction. Third is how effectively they communicate. Anything? No, आपने कोर्स के बारे में इंक्वायरी किया होगा, isn't it? So how effectively they talk, or just they talk nonchalantly. ये कोर्स है, इतने महीना होगा, एडमिशन लेना है तो ले लो. isn't it? वो रेलवे वाले काउंटर पे बात करते हैं. So basically those 3-4 factors can be considered as critical, and on that basis rating is done. तो रिसेप्शन से रिलेटेड हो गया. उसी तरीके से अलग अलग, मान लो IT टीम है, IT टीम let's say that, or any product you have, so product related some traits you'll identify. So this way this is called critical incident. So two factor theory also identified some behavior of people in organization. They had developed some questionnaire. If you read in details about two factor theory, they developed some questionnaire, and those questions were asked to those, let's say, accountants and engineers. This, and on the basis of their response they evaluated their behavior. This is how critical incident method. This. Then rating method, let's say, rating method is, this is difference is that it is forced, it is not forced. This, it is free, you can rate persons like as per their performance. Like say कि US used to have efficiency rating, and that efficiency rating, it had 15 different adjectives, and those 15 different adjectives, on the basis of those 15 different adjectives, they will evaluate the behavior or performance of personnel. This, these are all traditional methods. Traditional methods, they lacked objectivity. There was lack of objectivity, you will find this. In their, the most important weakness is that they lacked objectivity. This, how objectivity they lack? The first thing is that you have to force this, you have to force and rate people. So only 20% people can be fair, or only let's say 10% people can be excellent. So the 10% people excellent, so one day I told you that the person getting 89 rank and let's say that 90th rank. Right. The 89 wala is IAS and 90th wala is IPS. But there is a very marginal difference. So you get only 10%. So 10%, let's say that, are people excellent. But just below that person is close. This. So there can be subjectivity we can consider. So in general we can say that performance indicators were not prepared on the basis of research and analysis. It's research analysis, performance indicator, data, you can say these things were not developed on the basis of research analysis. Rather they were developed on the basis of whatever they can, let's say, considered as better, or on the basis of experience. At the same time, let's say it was one-sided. One-sided means ratee, you can say, ratee and rater. The rater means the person who writes appraisal. Ratee means the person whose appraisal is written. This, the rater and ratee, let's say, it was more rater oriented rather than ratee oriented. Ratee means they would not talk to the ratee. So the person who rates, it depends on his attitude, behavior, blah blah things, you know that. This, so if I start evaluating your copies, anyhow, right. So कई बार डर के मारे मैं नहीं evaluate करता हूँ. Right. This, so although I have told that I evaluate basically after prelims, you know that those who write mains, that time I evaluate copies. And to tell you that I evaluate almost all test 1, test 2 and all mock test copies. Mock test means those who write the mock test towards end, because they are challenging, difficult, still I evaluate, which is still very challenging. Because that's why, let's say, many a time when I evaluate sitting in the room, isn't it, evaluating copies, I feel bad. क्या मैं कर रहा हूँ ये सब? This, it has become now 13 years of doing this. I have also record of evaluating most number of copies in market. लेकिन कोई faculties कॉपी नहीं evaluate करता है, this is super. Anyhow, still we evaluate. So that's different thing. The question is कि depends कि rates की कौन evaluate करने वाला है. कई बार evaluator ऐसा होता है कि वो उसका अपना mindset होता है बस, और वो learn नहीं करना चाहता, वो already उसका pre-conceived mind है. So the person who is rating means the person who is rating, he can have a preconceived mind. That preconceived mind is a stereotype mind. So you cannot change the stereotype. This, that kind of mindset leads. There are problems, some serious problems that we'll tell in a performance appraisal. And because of that, because of, let's say, subjectivity factor, it's lack of objectivity, lack of transparency you can consider, this lack of validity of the rating given, lack of participation, these methods were evolved. These methods have, let's say that greater objectivity, transparency and validity than these methods. That's why they have become popular. Like say even we have adopted those practices. Why they have become popular? Because yes, they are more broad and, let's say, broad, transparent, we'll talk one by one. They have more positive orientation. Basically, you have fault finding approach and we have fact finding approach. Like say annual confidential report. नाम ही है इसका, एनुअल कॉन्फिडेंशियल रिपोर्ट. भाई परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल ही है ना, कॉन्फिडेंशियल क्यों होना चाहिए? कोई नेशनल सिक्योरिटी का तो मैटर है नहीं. It is your performance has been evaluated, so why it should be confidential? If you talk about annual confidential report in our country, it is having even more problem. Right. It is used more as a coercive tool. जाओगे कहाँ? Right. Performance appraisal तो मुझे ही लिखना है, ऐसे बोलते हैं जिसको लिखना होता है, तो आप जाओगे कहाँ? This the subservience attitude. अब सब्जी वब्जी पहुंचाओ उनके घर. Right. मतलब आज के डेट में आप कुछ बड़ा चीज ले सकते हैं, isn't it? पिज्जा वगैरह ले सकते हैं, right? और भी बहुत सारी चीजें होते हैं, ताकि the person who writes your appraisal becomes happy. Right. इसीलिए गिफ्ट कल्चर आया. No. और you find occasions to give gifts. तो कोई भी छोटा से छोटा occasion होता है, गिफ्ट देना शुरू करते हैं लोग. Isn't it? पता चला कि उनके बच्चे का बर्थडे है तो गिफ्ट भेजवा दिया, हैप्पी करने के लिए, to make that person happy. Isn't it? This, so that is how we'll find, right? The subservience culture, coercive culture, it was used as a coercive tool, carrot and stick, subservience culture, fault finding approach, only negative remarks were conveyed rather than positive. These are the weaknesses we'll find. Then we also started changing, which we'll teach you separately. Management by objective, so it is more, let's say that fact finding approach. Positive aspect is that it is fact finding, its approach is to improve rather than to punish, and it is participative method. Rater and ratee sit together and talk about the problems related to rating and how to improve that problem, means how to solve those problems. This 360-degree appraisal is most popular performance appraisal system in present time. As of now, if you want to know any popular performance appraisal, it is 360-degree performance appraisal. And 90% of Fortune 500 companies use 360-degree appraisal. Yes. It is a very popular method, which we'll tell you when we'll take one by one. By 360 degree, you know that we will rate people on the basis of all different perspectives. It has its own advantages, disadvantages. This. Then 720 degree improvement over 360 degree. Right. So that also will tell you what it has this. Then ARC second gave this. Nowadays we talk about system. Performance management system. So we are moving from performance appraisal to performance appraisal system. Right. Both are different things. Performance appraisal is one-off exercise, once in a year. Performance management is year-round exercise. It is a management system. So that also will talk about that. It means what it means. Already they have asked this also, and they have asked this also. This question was also asked, I guess in 2011 they asked this question. Performance management system. This. So it has more objectivity, but still there will be problems. So we'll try to, let's say, basically tell problems at one place, not going into here and there. Although we'll categorize, we'll talk problem oriented to this, but even after you have improvement, these methods, still there are problems. And those problems, as we have told that, problems will be related to who is the person writing your appraisal. This. It all depends on his thinking and mindset. This. And you know that in India, South India versus North India. This. Isn't it? So, who is liberal? South India. Liberal in rating, not liberal in approach. North India. And South India is conservative. Conservative in rating. Rating in the sense that they are more disciplined, basically. North India में चलता है attitude ज़्यादा है. Right? You know this? I shared one of my friend's story, although it was from Northeast. No, cultural difference. A friend of mine from Nagaland got IPS, became IPS. He was leaving, vacating Delhi. That time we were in Hamdard Studies Circle, which prepares for civil services. So he had one auto wala. I have shared it. He had one auto to take his luggage to railway station. So auto wala may have charged whatever. Generally in our country, auto wala has habit. When you go to auto wala, abhi us samay ki baat hai, let's say it's like 2006-07 around. So auto wala will say a particular, let's say that fare. When auto wala comes to your door and he sees your luggage, then what he starts saying? Right. Extra charges. No. Extra charge because you told only 5 luggage, there are 6 luggage. As if he will carry on his shoulder. Right. They have habit of doing like this, isn't it? They are only told 5 luggage, but you have 6 bags. So then this is how he was doing. The auto wala started doing this. So I told that कि दे दो यार जाने दो. It's North India. North Indian culture. ठीक है मांग रहा है तो मान लो 20 मांग रहा है 10 दे दो, isn't it? This I told this. He became angry like anything. See, we are parting away, let's say that. We are friends and he is leaving and he scolded me. And he told, shut up, don't know. Then I realized the cultural difference. And he told that, no, you have told this, let's say 120, so you have to go only in 120. And he forced the auto wala to go in that only. this. So this is what you'll find that even if we may have improved the performance appraisal, but still challenges are there. Each one has its own problem, which we'll talk while dealing one by one. That is what we can say that. So even if we have evolved the methods of performance appraisal, but we cannot say that there is a flawless performance appraisal system. Yes, we are trying to improve, let's say, objectivity, precision in rating. But as I told you, when you are rating performance, so you are compromising on behavioral aspect. Because many a times some people are more loyal, but they may not be as innovative and efficient. At the same time, some people are who are highly efficient, but they may not be loyal. This, or there can be other factors also. This. So there cannot be one parameter for evaluation. Similarly, in civil services, we have the challenge that civil servants, those who try to solve the complex problems of the society, and they may not succeed, and those who can try to just take lighter one, isn't it? Go and teach in the school. Right. And then get name and fame. This. So that is how we can say. You may have tried to solve a complex problem, but you failed because it demands lots of resource, time and money. But you applied effort. Similarly, civil servants are, let's say, having, let's say, personal losses in terms of, let's say, frequent posting and transfers because they are honest. So those who are honest, those who have integrity, they may have lots of, let's say, they may have suffered. So, do we take these things into consideration? Should we take these things into consideration? Okay. Or just we should take merely performance? This. That is how performance appraisal is very challenging. Should you promote a person on the basis of past performance or on the basis of future performance? Right. We'll talk these aspects also. Right? These are some other, let's say, that nuances, let's say, intricacies related to performance appraisal. That is how it is. It's always evolving thing. Are we still trying to improve and evolve performance appraisal methods? Right. So let's write on this. Traditional methods had their own advantages in terms of simple to understand and apply, but they had problems like first, subjectivity in rating, next, validity problem. Next, quantitative in nature. Lack of transparency. lack of transparency. Like annual confidential report, in India was performance appraisal practice having characteristics of traditional methods modern methods. They have been evolved to overcome problems of traditional methods of performance appraisal. Hence they have first greater level of objectivity, next validity, next transparency, next positive outlook, Same paragraph, that they have tried to incorporate traits of behavioral approach to promote fairness and objectivity in performance appraisal. Like first, management by objective. It has fact-finding approach. As against fault-finding approach of traditional method. It has fact-finding approach as against fault-finding approach of traditional method. Ratee participates in performance appraisal. Next point. Ratee participates in performance appraisal. Next, rater and ratee have interaction related to problems and how to improve problems. Change back, that is, it is more about finding out problems. In personnel to address problems rather than to punish personnel. Next, 360-degree appraisal. It has become the most popular performance appraisal practice. In both public and private sector. Countries like US, Sweden, UK, and Australia have introduced 360-degree appraisal. In civil services. 90% of Fortune 500 companies. 90% of Fortune 500 companies. Fortune 500 companies use 360-degree method. It was first used by General Electric. General Electric company. General Electric, G, isn't it? ऐसा ही नाम है. You are forcing me to think कि मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. It has following characteristics. Right? That's right. First, rating is very comprehensive. Next, there are participants like superiors, subordinates, peers, and clients. Next, transparency in process. Next, objectivity in rating. Next, self-rating. Self is not mentioned, but self is also part. Self-rating. This implies themselves, personal themselves rate this, that you can say self-rating. This change in paragraph. By the name itself, it is clear that 360-degree brings 360-degree brings a very wide perspective. A very wide perspective in rating. Since there are multiple stakeholders, subjectivity of one stakeholder can be countered by objectivity of another stakeholder. Since there is involvement of multiple stakeholders, it also builds pressures. Since there is involvement of multiple stakeholders, it also builds pressures on stakeholders for being fair and objective. Next, in India, it was recommended by Surendranath Committee. And ARC second. It has advantages over traditional methods. As it brings a rating system led by multiple stakeholders, including self-assessment. Even if corporate leaders have appreciated 360-degree appraisal, still it has following problems. First, Google has experienced ganged up phenomenon. That is, multiple stakeholders gang up against one employee. Next, since it is very comprehensive, its process can also become complex. Its process also becomes complex and cumbersome. Next. Objectivity depends on several factors. Objectivity depends on several factors, including the mindset of superiors. Change paragraph. Therefore, it has been argued that first, the performance standards under 360-degree appraisal. The performance standards under 360-degree appraisal should be publicized for transparency. Next. 720 degrees should be used. 720 degrees should be used to overcome limitation of 360 degree. Google type practice. Known as peers review. Google type practice known as peers review should be applied to deal against gang up phenomenon. Next, there should be application of information communication technology. To adopt performance management system. Performance management system. Therefore, 360 degree, even if popular objective, but still has a scope for improvement. For its greater acceptance. Right. So what we say is ganged up. What is ganged up? Suppose you have been hired by a company and you are the new sales manager. Right? When you are a new sales manager, you try to suppose become very honest, meritorious. So you will start reviewing all clients, vendors, and you will try to have contracts by clients and vendors as per, let's say, your terms and conditions. Right. You may think that the present vendors and clients, they are more costly. This you will try to you may try new vendors. This is one. And let's say that the existing vendors may be paying something extra, this and that, to superiors, this and that. When you bring new vendors, their interest would be affected. The superiors would be unhappy. Clients would be, and subordinates will also be unhappy that they may also be benefiting. Yes. So that is how they may do that. They may gang up against this. Many a time you may have seen the organizations against manager, entire organization goes against. Yes. That is how it was found in Google. Right. What they did is that they ganged up against some people, जिसके बारे में रेटिंग होना था. तो गूगल ने ये peer review system introduce किया है. What is that peer review? So if any employee or personnel have doubt about their rating, then that personnel can request for peer review. It's second review. In that peer review, at least one member would be of his choice. This they will have second party review, you can say, that is called peer review. In that, one member will be at least from that person's choice. This other members' composition can be as per the company. This. So now peer review will have a pressure on 360-degree appraisal. If they gang up, so when they will gang up, so there can be a review by peer review, and therefore there this ganging up phenomenon can be exposed. Yes, that is how, let's say, it brought innovation. Now, what is 720? How it will overcome this? But before that, we have told that कि objectivity. Basically, ये तो हमने बता दिया कि 360 degree क्या है. चारों तरफ से appraisal हो रहा है ना, isn't it? So it has all-round appraisal. But what are those performance indicators that they will rate? After all, peers will rate on what? Right. Subordinates will rate for what? Those whether performance indicators are clear, objective. We will tell you in the Indian case it is not clear. We will show you views of some IAS officers. क्या क्या बोला है उन्होंने 360 डिग्री के बारे में, जिसको हम यहाँ ग्लोरीफाई कर रहे हैं. This, but we will keep it for paper second more. Otherwise, you will end up writing this one more than this. This is how in paper one also. The theoretical perspective will not come. So this is how performance indicators should be made more clear, transparent. Then let's called we have told this gang of phenomenon. We can see this. Then 720 degree. What is that 720? And now there is focus on performance management system. We'll tell you what is performance management system from performance appraisal. Then we'll take other aspect. Still, let's say it is popular practice. You cannot have absoluteness, flawlessness, you know that. Still, it is very popular practice in corporate sector. Gradually, it is becoming popular in civil services. That other countries are also trying to adopt it. But yes, there is a scope to improve it. This you can say. Which we can know the scope to improve by knowing others like this and this. Yes.
Sir, in 360 degree appraisal, sir, if you make the different stakeholder anonymous to each other, sir, then also we can solve the problem of gender.
But how it can be anonymous?
Like in a big organization.
But then transparency is the thing. Yes, that is a gang. Yes, syndicate is a kind of gang. The purpose is not to keep anonymous. No. The purpose is to make it transparent.
Stakeholder only, like who is the subordinate or who is the superior, who is giving the appraisal, they don't know each other.
No, that will not be possible. See, try to understand. Anonymous making is not going to solve the problem. That will create more problem. Because since it is anonymous, so you can give any rating. When it is anonymous, so you will be at least, let's say, fair enough.
No, sir. So the who is rater and rating know each other, but one stakeholder don't know other stakeholder, so they won't be able to gang up.
No, but that way, anyhow, let's say ki they will know. Right. It's not like, let's say that I told that, let's say, sorry. Peers can be, let's say, clients and vendors. So, if there are two vendors, X and Y, they may not know each other, but that does not matter. But let's say vendors, they know the let's say superiors, they know subordinates. This, they know them. When they know them, they can gang up. This, that can happen. So, and the person who is being rated here, I gave the example. Even if you make it anonymous, it is not going to help. This, somehow it will be known. This, especially between means people in organization, be it superior, subordinate, and let's say that vendors that you have. This, many a time it is clear that who are the vendors of the company. Right. कंपनी के जो सारा डिटेल शीट होता है, it is mentioned the vendors of the companies, right? Who are those vendors? This, it may not work, let's say that, to maintain anonymity. This, but we were talking, let's talk 720 degree. Right. It is 360 degree 2 times. Why 2 times?
Remove any kind of subjectivity.
We may have told somewhere, or let's say again we'll tell you. Let's take this. Someone, let's say that performance is like this. Right. Someone performance can be like this. Right. Someone performance be like this. So it's, let's say that the person who is here, it is not guaranteed that he will grow like this. It can be also like he may be like, already you know that Bernard performance stabilizes. Right. This is what Bernard says, right? Right. So you can see that some, let's say that even in cricket, the best example you'll find is, in cricket you will find that some bowlers come and they disappear after some time, isn't it? Some continue for long. Right. This, some cricketers, as they grow, Sanas Jayasuriya, right? So when he was young, he may not be right, important player, but with, let's say, passage of his age, you know that how he becomes. And as far as my knowledge is concerned, he played till 38 years of age. Yes. Still he was playing, you know that. He has to take retirement. Right. We give example, let's say Amitabh Bachchan. This, with, let's say, in young age he may not be popular actor. There was a time he struggled, you know that, and Rajesh Khanna, let's say that, he tried to help him, but decline of Rajesh Khanna was like the way he rose, you know that decline also happened. Some actors who become old, they become gold. Right, this you can say. So that is what you have to understand. You can also analyze many of your friends' graph in life. Some can be highly intelligent in childhood time, but thereafter what happened, you do not know. Some may gradually improve, let's say that, and when they go to their 25, 30s or 40s, you'll find, like say entrepreneurs also you can find this. So this is how, let's say when you are appraising someone on the basis of past performance, it is not a guarantee for future performance. Maybe कि उसका वो, that it is the peak of that person. This, are we promoting a person when he is at peak? This, then performance may get stabilized or may decline. This, that is how the idea, let's say, that came. That 360-degree appraisal or other appraisals are trying to appraise on the basis of past performance. But it is not a guarantee for future performance. This first, second Peter principle highlighted. So from technical to managerial, a person can be good at technical level but not be good at this. A person can be, let's say that bad at, let's say that in technical level, good at managerial level. This. So that is what we have to understand. So many a time, let's say that a person who you are promoting, that promotion has a juncture. Let's say till you are in the field, this is one juncture of your career. Then once from that field you are promoted, let's say that promoted to secretariat, it starts another juncture. This. Now you may not be as effective in secretariat as in field. Or some people may not be as effective in field as in secretariat. Both factors are there. So that is how, let's say, we can take into consideration. That is called 720. Means first there will be 360-degree appraisal on the basis of past. Then after that, if person has been promoted, so after 2 to 3 months, another, let's say, appraisal is done. Just a short gap, let's say that, to know whether he is performing at his new position. Is he performing at his new position? Or he is not performing at new position? This. So that is called 720-degree, which overcomes one limitation, that is whether a person based on past performance is promoted, is that person performing on future role? This. That is what 720-degree you can consider. This is what we have to write. So let's write on this. It tries to overcome one weakness of any performance appraisal method. Any performance appraisal method in general and 360-degree appraisal method in particular. 360-degree appraisal method in particular, in terms of past performance, may not be guarantee for future performance. That is, so far the performance appraisal was based on past performance standards, becoming basis for promotion and posting. With new assignment. However, past performance cannot be a guarantee past performance cannot be guarantee for future performance. Future performance due to following factors. First, the new responsibility can be different from past responsibility. The new responsibility can be different from past responsibility. In bracket, technical to managerial. Technical to managerial. Next. Human behavior is dynamic. Human behavior is dynamic and human potential may not always be in ascending order. Ascending order, that it may be possible when a person is promoted, he may have reached to his peak of performance. He may have reached to his peak of performance. Even Chester Barnard also highlighted that performance gets stabilized over a period of time. Performance gets stabilized over a period of time. And therefore, 720 degree is innovation over 360 degree. Innovation over 360 degree, that it is 2 times of 360 degree. 2 times of 360 degree. The second 360 degree appraisal is done. The second 360 degree appraisal is done after 2-3 months of first appraisal to assess whether the said personnel at new positions are performing as per expectations. This is how we have to write. We don't expect a separate question. It is just to improve 360 degree appraisal. This. Is it clear? Right. Let's try next. Performance management system. Performance management system. It was recommended by IAS second. Second, to adopt a new practice known as performance management system. It means first, performance appraisal should not be once in a year exercise, one-off exercise. In bracket you can write one-off exercise. Next, performance appraisal should become a system, that is evaluation plus management of performance related data to get holistic view of personal career progression, Yes. Hence, performance management system has following differences. Performance management system has following differences from other performance methods. So on the one side you can write performance appraisal, other side performance management system. First, one-off exercise. This side, year-round exercise. Next, past performance as basis for future performance. Next, past and present performance. Basis for future performance. Okay. Lack of interlinking of performance appraisal. Related data. Of personnel serving in different departments. This side, intersectoral and interministerial perspective. In performance appraisal. Next, fault finding approach or more problem centric this side, more problem solving centric. more problem solving centric. Next, job enlargement. Job enlargement. This side, job enrichment. Job enrichment. Enrichment. Change the paragraph. Change the paragraph. Then it is. Unlike performance appraisal. Unlike performance appraisal. Under performance management system. Under performance management system, personnel can get even graphical representation of span of their career, how it has progressed, Hence, human resource management gets information regarding why performance at particular stage either increases or decreases. That is, even a pattern can be established. In performance appraisal of personnel in organization. Are you able to understand? मान लो let's say इधर कि you analyze 20 years of career. तो क्या हमारे पास 20 years of career का डेटा है? This is how the data है, but वो अलग अलग है. It is dispersed. उसका कोई पैटर्न आपने नहीं establish किया है. But if you have data for 20 years of the personnel, let's say that through management system, so on the basis of that you can determine a pattern, let's say pattern of relationship. How the care, let's say why, let's say most of the personnel go down here. This after let's say initial number of years, so why they go down? This. So once you understand why they go down, so you will try to intervene. Problem solving oriented. Yes. As of now, it is individual. Right. यहाँ पे performance go down, so you are punished. This, but there can be external factors also. Many other factors can be also. Social psychological factors also. Human behavior factor also. Let's say why it happens. This. Or let's say that how many let's say people have, so if you have 100 IAS, so if you analyze 100 IAS behavior of last 10 years, so you need to analyze on the basis of their performance related data. But that kind of analysis we are not doing, rather we are doing your individual, let's say that, individual performance of 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 3 year, 6 years, what we can consider. Now, you are transferred to different places, let's say that. Right? You may be serving to Ministry of Finance 6 months, then you are in Ministry of Home Affairs, then Ministry of Agriculture. So when performance appraisal happens, do they take, क्या बात करते हैं वो Ministry of Home Affairs? They may not necessarily. Yes. So that way they may have some limitations, or even if they talk, they may not get information. Intersectoral, interdepartmental. This, so that factor can be considered. So performance management system simply means that it will not have only 1 year of appraisal. Rather, it will have your whatever the appraisal, it will try to establish link with your past year's appraisal, present year's appraisal. And they will start developing, let's say, a pattern of your career. So each individual has a pattern of the career. Then they can combine all those individuals, they can derive a collective pattern of the career. This, and that can help in improving our quality of human resource management and development and addressing some problems related. So that is how, let's say, management system can do, which I was telling you that means in Mission Karmi Yogi. We have EHRMS, let's say that, the electronic based human resource management system. So this way, let's say, it will help, and that is how it is. We can say performance management system, and that is how it is. Then suppose किसी का performance है, someone has performed, you promoted without job enrichment, what will happen? तो वही होगा story, isn't it? High performing manager, no performance. Right. But it is not necessary that always high performance manager will succeed. It means कि performance appraisal demands also this changes in organization. This organization should also undergo change. That is called job enrichment. This. So that way we can link, and this is how it talks about. Plus, performance appraisal should happen year round. Year round means it is a day-to-day activity, maintaining data related to performance, etc., rather than writing once in a year. This. So many a time it becomes very challenging. Okay. Challenging in the sense that it was suppose a person who is at state level service, next year he is promoted as All India service, and then he is in a different department. So there are several such kind of changes in career span, and performance appraisal may not take into consideration. That is how it has become popular, let's say, performance management system. Let's write further on this. Mission Karmi Yogi has adopted performance management system. Performance management system in terms of EHRMS, which is considered a significant development in improvement of human resource practices. Human resource development practices. So that is what we can talk on this. Then we'll talk about weaknesses. Even if modern methods are considered improvement over traditional methods, traditional methods, still there are following problems. First, already we have told ganged up phenomenon. Next, stereotyping. stereotyping, in bracket, the mindset of rater, the mindset of rater. रेटर, माइंडसेट ऑफ रेटर, रेटी से क्या मतलब है? This halo horn effect. HALO, halo, HORN, horn effect. Within that, let's say halo effect means generalization of one positive trait of an employee for all other employees. Horn effect means generalization of one negative trait of an employee for all other employees. Isn't it? One general good thing we generalize, और negative thing also we generalize. तुम लोग सब ऐसे ही हो, ऐसे ही बोलते हैं, isn't it? The North Indians, stereotyping, isn't it? These are all, let's say that halo horn. Explanation से मतलब नहीं है, key term से मतलब है. Answer में सिर्फ key term आना चाहिए. Right. This we can consider. Right. Let's next problem. Right. Fairness in rating. That is, it depends on process and procedures. Or equity factor. Equity factor, which is very subjective. Next, conservative versus liberal in rating. That some may be conservative, that is strict in rating, and some other may be liberal, like in India, South India versus North India. It is basically, you know, that it is recognized. Civil servants from South India, so they are more strict. Civil servants from North India, they are more liberal. ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, गवर्नमेंट का ही रिकॉर्ड बोलता है. Right? It will come again at one place. We'll talk. This. फिर उसके लिए उनको नॉर्मलाइजेशन मेथड यूज करना पड़ता है, यूपीएससी वाला. Yes. So this way we can consider, right? Let's try next. This call Merit. It's merit related problem. Merit related problem. Next problem. What is merit is still debatable. What is merit is still debatable. Merit for efficiency versus merit for efficiency versus merit for values. Merit for values. Yes. Therefore, there is a scope to improve performance appraisal methods. There is scope to improve performance appraisal methods. That's why organizations and governments use multiple methods rather than one method of appraisal. One method for appraisal. One method for appraisal. Significance of performance appraisal. It has become now a contingent factor. It has become now a contingent factor for first attracting meritorious candidates. Next, building a culture of merit and performance. Next, equity and sense of justice in organization. Next, self-esteem for meritorious people. If organizations fail to have objectivity in performance appraisal, there would be flight of talent. And it may not have meritorious people. Organizations can also face several behavioral problems. Highlighted by behavioral thinkers. Like Chris Argyris, in terms of quitting, defense mechanism, becoming indifferent. First quitting, next defense mechanism, next becoming indifferent. Change in paragraph. Barnard and Simon highlighted contribution satisfaction equilibrium. to promote retention. To promote retention. That's why most of the corporate companies have tried to adopt fair, transparent, and objective performance appraisal system. Fair, transparent, and objective performance appraisal system. However, the same cannot be said for civil services. Same cannot be said for civil services due to political factors, including in India. So let's performance appraisal in India. Performance appraisal in India. Fatafat will try to finish. Performance appraisal India has gone through. Performance appraisal in India. India has gone through 3 stages of development. 3 stages of development. First, ACR system. Till 2005. ACR system till 2005, which was first coercive, next characteristic, next subservience type, To overcome this, next stage, performance appraisal report was introduced. Performance appraisal report was introduced in 2005 on the recommendation of Surinder Nath Committee. On the recommendation of Surinder Nath Committee. It had three components. First, 15 to 20 parameters for rating. Next, normalization method of UPSC to balance conservative versus liberal rating. ये ऑफिशियली रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है. South Indians are strict, North Indians are liberal. This is part of this policy. Next, eminent panel group. Next, third point is eminent panel group. Eminent panel group to rate civil servants, including taking inputs from intelligence agencies. Including taking inputs from intelligence agencies. क्या करता है नेपाल बॉर्डर पर? Basically, eminent panel group will have, let's say, eminent members, you know that, eminent members, senior level members. They will try to rate civil servants on the basis of 15-20 parameters, and rating will be also normalized between South Indian and North Indian. Let's write this. It was first introduced for all India services. It was first introduced for all India services. And then for other central government services. Other central government services. Yes. Change paragraph. As of now, it is this method which is in practice. It is this method which is in practice. Although the present government has gone for digitalization of this method, the present government has gone for digitalization of this method. So basically it is a bridge, let's say that, to understand the present. नहीं तो आप लिखोगे कि the present government has adopted a completely new method of appraisal. So sparrow probability is solved. The sparrow is nothing but performance appraisal system through online window. This. So as of now, performance appraisal is based on this 15 to 20 parameters, normalization method, eminent panel group, rating, this you can say. At the same time, we have also adopted 360-degree appraisal. This method is also there, 360-degree is also there, both methods are there, which government using. Plus now we have got IGOT also under Mission Karma Yogi system. Course related, let's say online course completion related. This, that is what we have to talk thereafter. So let's write on this. Next, third stage. Third stage, that is the present government has taken steps to radically transform performance appraisal practices. Following steps have been taken. Following steps have been taken. First, performance appraisal report performance appraisal report is now known as SPARROW. SPARROW. It means Smart Performance Appraisal. Smart Performance Appraisal Report. Smart Performance Appraisal Report. Recording online window. Recording online window. स्पैरो बनाने के लिए ऐड किया गया. Yes. But it is completely digitalized. Right? Next, 360-degree appraisal. 360-degree appraisal. Appraisal. Next, I got an EHRMS. I got an EHRMS. Change paragraph. That is, there is a blend of both. There is blend of both. Innovative performance appraisal. Innovative performance appraisal. And application of information and communication technology. Information and communication technology. Yes. 360-degree appraisal is done by Prime Minister Office. 360-degree appraisal is done by Prime Minister Office, Kautilya Office, Maurya Office, Prime Minister Office, and there is Sparrow Probity and Solve. Sparrow Probity and Solve initiative for evaluation of performance, which has been linked to another initiative called Perform or Perish. Hence, the present government has tried to infuse performance culture in civil services. Performance culture in civil services by rewarding those who perform, and punishing those who fail to perform. Over 100 officers' services have been terminated. Due to lack of performance. Let's write. Criticisms. Criticisms of 360-degree appraisal in India. Criticisms of 360-degree appraisal in India. 360-degree appraisal has faced sharp criticisms. 360-degree appraisal has faced sharp criticism in India by civil servants, by serving civil servants, and a parliamentary standing committee. A parliamentary standing committee. Parliamentary standing committee. Chairman of Uttar Pradesh IAS Association. Chairman of Uttar Pradesh IAS Association. Praveer Kumar remarked, "It was an opaque black box. It was an opaque black box. Black box." Punjab IAS Association. Punjab IAS Association. President KBS Sidhu. Criticized that it violates Right to Information Act. It violates Right to Information Act as feedback related information is not provided. Feedback related information is not provided. Not provided. Next, Vinit Chaudhary. Vinit Chaudhary from Himachal Pradesh cadre. Himachal Pradesh cadre criticized 360-degree appraisal. After criticism, he was appointed Chief Secretary. Next, Parliamentary Standing Committee. Next, Parliamentary Standing Committee in its report highlighted following flaws. First, opaqueness in its practice. Opaqueness in its practice. Next, lack of standardization. Lack of standardization. Standardization. Next, lack of legal backup. Lack of legal backup. Backup. Hence, committee also recommended for improving 360-degree appraisal. Improving 360-degree appraisal. 360-degree appraisal. Through first introduction of law rules as legal backup. Next, benchmarking system. Benchmarking system. And next, transparency. That is, the said civil servants should be provided. Said concern, जो भी SAID, said civil servants should be provided. क्या? Bag from Karol Bagh. और कुछ नहीं याद आ रहा है. Provided feedback data, right? Feedback related information. Why they have been promoted or denied promotion. denied promotion. Next, the government should also introduce other steps to improve 360-degree appraisal. 360-degree appraisal. Bracket में लिख दो, as mentioned at page number 01. Already हम लोगों ने mention किया है. No. For paper 1 already we have told peers review 720 degree. You can repeat again. Isn't it? Yes. But government ने क्या किया है? Let's write interestingly. Interestingly, as per report, the government has discontinued 360-degree appraisal. But इससे questions पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Still UPSC will ask. So contentious issue faced with criticisms, they have discontinued. इसलिए कि इसके वजह से काफी IAS आप समझ सकते हो कि IAS एसोसिएशन बोलता नहीं है कभी, गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ बोलता नहीं है, गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट नहीं बोलता है इतना ओपनली और कैंडिडली. यस, बट IAS एसोसिएशन उत्तर प्रदेश, पंजाब, हिमाचल प्रदेश and the name, they are not keeping their name anonymous. Even their names are being written in newspaper. Yes. So this is what it is, one print article, let's say. Print वाले ही लिखते हैं सब. So this is print article, this, which if you read, you will get details of. इसमें सारा detail है कि कैसे कैसे लेके. Another article is this, which generally I refer while teaching this. It is criticism and it is 2019. So when it was in practice, it has been criticized, but by 2023 you find it that it is discontinued. So that way we can consider its criticism. That's why UPSC once asked that how we can improve 360-degree appraisal. Now, why we need legal backup? So legal backup you need simply because you are asking, let's say, it is basis for, let me show you another, कौटिल्य को एक बार, अरे मौर्य को एक बार और देख लो. This, although we'll show you once again next time, means when we'll tell separately sparrow, probity and solve. Right. So probity, this is how monitoring the rotation of officer on sensitive, non-sensitive post to identify officers occupying sensitive position for over 3 months. This basically they are trying to monitor their behavior. Sparrow, we have told you, it is about performance appraisal window. This is how we'll find this. Solve is that they try to have online, this is how, vigilance inquiry for board level appointee. Just simple, let's say it is monitoring system, evaluation system for your performance as well as integrity. Let's say that ki this is how it is written, 30 group A officers, 99 group B officers sent on retirement. ये थोड़ा पुराना रिपोर्ट है, वो 30 वाला जो है अब 100 हो चुका है. And 2400 group A officers and 42,000, let's say 24,000 group A, 42,000 group B officers, वो अब 1 lakh क्रॉस कर चुका होगा. Are under scanner. Yes. So हड़कंप मचना, isn't it? This is how it is, like this, creating ripple effect in civil service fraternity when government has taken such initiative. This performance culture, either you perform or go to hell. This is how it is. Yes. It is also known as elimination of deadwoods. दूसरा नाम है इसका, elimination of deadwoods. This. और घोड़े एंड गधे, नितिन गडकरी. This. So that is how we'll find all such practices. Now legal backup means कि yes, it is becoming basis to terminate service. You are taking such important decision without any legal backup. Civil servants, including all India services who have constitutional protection, they are being removed by an executive order. This by executive initiative. So it seems to be contradictory. On the one hand, you give special status, Article 312, protection to all India services. On the other hand, by executive order, you are removing on the grounds of these, let's say, appraisal reports. The Parliamentary Standing Committee, this is how it highlighted that you should have a legal backup for this. When you will bring law, it will bring transparency. So the day you introduce law, it will bring debate. There will be debate and discussion. And law, when you bring, it is subject to challenge. This, that we can consider. That is how there should be a legal backup. This you can see. Plus standardization, lack of payments, transparency. On what basis PMO is rating? PMO is, let's say that, calling your, let's say, friends, childhood friends. अब childhood friend enemy बन गया है तो क्या करेंगे? It is true. PMO calls to your childhood friend. कहाँ से पता चलता है उनको? Right. Who was your childhood friend? Right. आपने अपने एरिया में कुछ किया नहीं तो सारे नेबर वाले आपके खिलाफ हो गए. Isn't it? आज तक कभी आया नहीं IAS बनने के बाद. ठीक है. No. So जब छोटा था तो यही गिल्ली डंडा खेलता था. Sorry. तो सारे पड़ोसी आपको नेगेटिव देते रेटिंग. So it is just sarcastic, you can take, but PMO is rating, but what are those parameters? As we told that time also in paper 1 type, the parameters or the indicators should be open. At least let's say objectivity will come then. Even if it is 360-degree, but you can imagine that it is facing challenge. And it has to be discontinued by the government because government has replied to CAT. While hearing a case, government has replied to CAT that there is no such practice. There is no such practice, no such system there in government of India. And it is just, let's say we are telling here, this is recent development. This.